Hello, thank you for being here with me this evening. This is going to be a great day. I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope everything went well for you. And welcome to the month of February, Black History Month. I will like to say for the next few days, I'll be sharing here online uh, some interesting stuff concerning Black History Month, and I do hope that it will be a real good blessing to you. So, um, I want to just start off by making this brief statement. Now, here is why we celebrate Black History Month, and I want to share with you some reasons and things that we celebrate this, and I know it is going to be a tremendous help to you. And I would say for sometime this week, I will share also the church position in this time of month. Some interesting things that I believe that will help us as an organization to be able to reach people in our major cities. So you need to stay tuned to that as we are celebrating Black History Month. Now, I want to say I know what people say this time of the year, especially this month. Oh, we have heard all of this. Don't be bringing up bad memories. And we don't want to hear that, and it's so sad, and some folks are so afraid to talk about Black history because they feel that it will be offensive to some. But it should not be. It's not anything to me that would be offensive, but it certainly will be a help. Now, I know I've heard people say, we got it. You don't have to repeat this again. Don't tell us anymore. Look, Black history is not only about those things that you may think that may depress you or make you feel threatened. It is about the contributions of Black Americans to this country. So it's not something. It's not something that will be a harm to you. So don't look at it that way. Look at it as a time where we can learn as a nation and become stronger and in loving one another and embracing the diversity and embracing the contribution that was made by Black Americans, not only from the past, but even up today. So I would say this again, and I know that some would say, we've heard all of this, and we don't want to hear it no more, but even the scripture tells us that there are times that we have to say it again or tell someone again. Matter of fact, I was reading from the book of Philippians in the third chapter of Philippians. And Paul writes to the church there while he was confined. He writes these words, Philippians chapter 3. He says, finally, my brethren, rejoicing in the Lord, he said, rejoicing in the Lord. He said, to write the same thing to you. To me, indeed, it is not grievous, but for you it is safe that I tell you this again. And sometimes it benefits us to hear the story again and to hear about the contributions and to hear about the love and to hear about how courageous our ancestors was, and to hear the story, it it definitely will encourage your spirit. And matter of fact, as I will be sharing here today, um, why we celebrate Black History in the month of February, um, I would just tell you some things that I know will be a really a true blessing to you here today. And it is just as important today as it were uh, the first time they celebrated decades ago. Um, so it will have the same effect on us to um, build a sense of hope in us, and to show how we have and will continue to overcome different struggles. It is an educational moment, and it's not only about black people, but it's about everybody. It is not black history, it is American history. Because, see, blacks was a part of America, and they became Americans. And we are certainly here. And our contributions will be encouraging to everyone. You know, why is Black History um, a month in February? Let's talk about that for a moment. Because I want to talk about a gentleman by the name of Carter Woodson. And that's going to be important. I want you to remember that name, Carter Woodson. And you might want to even look that up while I'm sitting here in this discussion here today. But why is Black History Month in February? Now, um, there have been a lot of things said, it's because it is the shortest month. And no, that that is not true. It have nothing to do with the shortest month of the year, but it was a time actually uh, where they celebrated a gentleman in the month of February, and this gentleman who they celebrated, and his birthday was on February the 14th. Now, not only that, as they celebrated also Abraham Lincoln, but I want to give you a moment here, just to pause, because they celebrated Frederick Douglass' birthday during that time, and they made it just a week of celebration because of the contribution that was by Frederick Douglass, and that was in February. Matter of fact, it was blacks who established that week of celebration, and other black patriots that they celebrated during that time in February. But there was a gentleman by the name of Carter Woodson, and he really was stirred up. I mean, excited about the contribution that black Americans had in this country, and he did everything in his power to bring that to surface. I mean, to bring it to light, because he wanted it to be taught in the schools. He wanted it to be taught everywhere, and there was already several different states and throughout America at that time that was recognizing Frederick Douglass a day, a week, a celebration. But Woods wanted to take it a little further. He wanted to make it a not only a week of celebration, but a celebration of every day, and to it extend all the way not only for a week but for an entire month. But you know, when I think about Carter Woodson, isn't it an amazing story when you look into his life? Because his parents was enslaved, and they was illiterate. They was not educated people at all. But Woods went on to earn his PhD. You know, when I think about that, alone is worth celebrating. You say, why? Why, Pastor, is that worth celebrating? Because it takes away the thing that everybody says, that if your parents are no good, you are no good. If your parents are this, you'll be like your parents. But Carter parents was enslaved. Not only were they enslaved, but they was illiterate. If they couldn't read or write. But he went on to earn his PhD. That tells me that in spite of what you are and who you are, you can achieve. And nobody can hold you back from being something. Matter of fact, he was the first black American to do so. But I just thought that would be, that alone again is something that will just make you feel good. And this week, this historical week of celebration was started in 1926. So they continue to do so, and Woods was so instrumental. I mean, and he felt and he believed that education will lift you above every obstacle and open up doors of opportunity. Though his parents was not educated, but it didn't stop him from becoming a man of excellence. And although his parents were not educated, but they was people also of excellence. But he earned that, and to say that in this society, regardless of where you come from, or who your parents are, and what your parents may be involved in, as I'm speaking to you now, not only as a black American, but regardless of who you are, you can achieve. And none of that will determine your destiny, what you can be in society. So as this continue, even up to in the 60s, and you had the Black Power movement and other different movements that came along, and so much, even in the 70s, when Gerald Ford made a proclamation that it should be a month of celebration. The president endorsed that it will be a whole month of celebrating the contribution of black Americans. I know that a lot of people say, well, could we look at the contributions of those that in this century? Yes, you can. I mean, here, yes. But Woods always felt that you got to look back that you can go forward. And if people will stop us from looking back on our history, it will hinder us from going forward. You know, Woods also felt that to dehumanize, one of the quickest way to dehumanize anybody is to tell them that they have no history and they have no value and they have no worth. And Carter was not going to let that happen. He was not going to let the black Americans feel or to become dehumanized by people telling them that their past don't mean anything. They have no history and they have no worth. And that was not true because of the contributions that many blacks made in society really help us today in America. We are celebrating American history of black Americans. And if now I would say even some of my good Christian brethren even afraid to celebrate black history. You know, you can add the contributions of anybody today, of any black leader, religious black leader, or whoever, but you must not forget about the contribution of those during the struggle, because if you do so, you take away something that's very important. You take away the fact that Carter Woodson earned a PhD, a doctorate. You take away that, and society keep telling us in some way that if your daddy was an alcoholic, you're going to be an alcoholic. And if there's no education in your history, in your past, then you will not be, or you will not achieve. But he just hit that thing out of the park and said that's not true. That you can still achieve regardless of what, or where you come from. You can be something. And that's what February should help us to do, to look back. Don't be afraid to talk about the past, even the struggle. And I know that some would say it makes people feel bad, but it makes people feel good, because guess what? We have come a long way in America. And the reason, because of that reason alone, we must continue the sound and remember. Because Paul even said, he said, it's not grievous to me to tell you over and over again. And it's not, to me, it's not grievous at all. So coming from Frederick Douglass a week, as they celebrate his contribution on society, it moved from there to be in the 1970 when Gerald Ford made it a whole month. Made a proclamation that it should be a whole month of celebrating. I see, it's a healing thing when you look back and when you see the struggle and see where we have come from and where we are today. And I know stuff rises, but the history stomps it out. Just smash it to the ground and say, We're not going to allow you to tear us down. We're going to keep on making our contribution into society, and even when society may tell us to stop, we are going forward. See, the quickest way to dehumanize, would say, is to make a man feel that he have no worth, or to make him feel that he have no contribution at all. And we can't allow that to happen, because guess what? We all of some worth in society. So we take the time this month, and as I'm trying to set the pace here, and I will be sharing some more stuff as time go on. It was called Negro History Week, and it was again in February, and it was to commemorate February the 14th, the birthday of Frederick Douglass, and so. But as I told you, it moved on, and some was pushing for it, and certainly Woods, he didn't live to see it become a whole month of celebration. And if you just allow me, he's born. Woods was born in New Canton, Virginia. His parents again was enslaved, and they was illiterate. They were, and you say, why you keep saying that, preacher? Because I want you to know, and what I want people to know, regardless of where you come from, don't let no one tell you, because your daddy was an alcoholic. I'm just using this for an example. Or your mama was an alcoholic, or your daddy couldn't read. Don't let anyone tell you that you cannot achieve. You can, okay? You can. Look, in 1912, he received his PhD. Catch that. Think about that for a moment. Making him the only person born to enslaved parents to ever earn a PhD in the history of the United States. That is awesome. And regardless of the struggle, and regardless of what you have, no wonder they sung the song in the streets of Montgomery and the streets of Selma. No wonder they sung the song. And I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. No wonder they sung the song. No one. Maybe it was King reflection back on Carter G. Woodson. Maybe it was his reflection to say, I'm not going to let my lack of turn me around. So when I think about how Woods fought so hard for it to be an entire month. Matter of fact, he actually wanted it every day to talk about where we come from. See, for all of those that are fighting and say, who afraid, and you can turn it to whatever you want to turn it into, and honor whoever you want to honor. But it's all about the struggle of coming out of slavery and the contribution of those early patriots. It is all about that. And if you escape that, if you excuse that and want to erase that and move on to something else, you lose the real purpose of it. Because it is about people overcoming such obstacles that beyond anything you can imagine and making it, and not only limiting their contribution to blacks, but sharing it with the whole entire country. See, their contribution was not only limited and shared among the blacks, but it was shared with the entire country, with all Americans. Heart, medicine, whatever contribution that was made. So we celebrate here this February all of these contributions. Also, I want you hear what I want you to do. Look what's up, Carter G. Woodson, and you will discover, you will be encouraged, realizing that he was known. He is the father, the patriot of black history. He is the one that laid the foundation. We look at him as being that person. And when you look at his story, when you get down into his biography and look at him, you will discover, you will come out of that saying, I know I can. I know I can achieve. I know I can go forward. I've come to tell you here today, this is one of the reasons why we celebrate Black History Month. Look, years later, I failed to mention this, that he was the one who established the Association for the Study of African American Life in History, which is better called the ASALH. Look it up. You will find that would be something interesting for you to read about, that you can understand why we celebrate it in February. It is not because it's the shortest month. It is because it was the blacks. It was the blacks who established it. February, because of Frederick Douglass' birthday, February the 14th. Yes, it'd be remiss of me not to mention that also they was commemorating Abraham Lincoln as well, whose birthday was on the 12th. But when you understand the reason of why we do it, and why Woods fought so hard, and why even the President of the United States of America made a proclamation that the whole month of February should be Black History. I know folks want to add other stuff in, but it is recognized even from our government. Hey, look, I wish I had time to talk to you more. I just thought I'd take a moment just to lecture. Just to speak a little bit about this. I will be speaking also tomorrow a little bit more about why we celebrate Black History. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, look upwards, Dr. Carter G. Woodson. Who is he? Look him up, and then you will know why we do it in February. Hey, if you like, share, any questions or any comment, type it right there in the comment line. Earlier I told you I'll be talking about also sometime during this week, um, as a black man, how do I fit in, and how could our church, the Church of God of Prophecy, reach more black Americans in the United States? I will be talking about that as well. I will also share with you why we have not been able to reach black Americans in the United States, and I will share with you how we can. Hey, have a great evening. Talk with you soon.